presents the Big Three Playoffs. This Sunday, the remaining 4 teams battle to make the championship in the most physical, fierce, and competitive basketball league in the world. The action starts with the Big Three Monster Energy Celebrity Game. Then Dwight Howard and his LA Riot take on Montrezl Harrell and Dr. J Chicago Triplets. The finale will see popular Miami 305 with stars MVP Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson take on Nancy Lieberman's Dallas Power. Who will make it to the Big Three Championship? The no-holds-barred action starts Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific, only on CBS.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Now on the Mo Kelly Show, it's Tiffany Hobbs, the viral load.
She'll speak of all the viral things social media can bring.
Facebook, Insta, X, TikTok, the viral load with Tiffany Hobbs. Viral load, the viral load. Viral load with Tiffany Hobbs.
KFI AM 640. It's the viral load now on Later with Mo Kelly. Tiffany Hobbs, take it away.
Here we go. I actually visited the Foosh today, our wonderful Stefan, and I was talking to him about this week's viral load. And I told him, I'll have stories that will stump you, stories that will trick you, a story that might extend your life, and a story that will show that social media can provide the environment for you to ruin your own if you're not careful. And that's how we're going to begin. Our first story has to do with a social media influencer who effectively took down a nurse on a recent flight. What do I mean? Nothing physical here in this story, but an exchange of words and a very harsh and understandable consequence. There was a recent Delta flight, and this flight was going from London's Heathrow Airport to JFK. About, what would you say, Mo? About a 6-hour, 7-hour or so flight. We're about 2 hours into the flight. Many of us joined a conversation that prior to this, we were unbeknownst about. So what happens is I'm perusing Threads, which is Instagram's answer to X/Twitter. And I'm watching a story unfold. And what happened is there's a social media influencer who's on this flight from Heathrow to JFK. The social media influencer's name is Tanika A.B. Tanika A.B. And what she does is she chronicles an exchange between another passenger and a flight attendant. Now, let me set the scene for you. The flight attendant, black woman, passenger, white woman, and Tanika A.B., black woman. Diverse plane, but this distinction is important because what Tanika chronicled is that the flight attendant asked the passenger to put a seatbelt around her toddler son as there was turbulence or whatever it might have been. The passenger said whatever she said, no, some sort of disagreement. She was asked again by the flight attendant to strap her kid down, to which the passenger responded by calling the flight attendant the N-word and the B word. When the flight attendant said, "Excuse me," the passenger doubled down, calling her again the N-word and the B word. Now, Tanika A.B. on this flight, social media influencer she is, decides to post about the exchange. That's where all of us were brought in. She uploaded her commentary, and over the next few hours, she detailed everything that she saw, including other passengers rallying around the flight attendant to comfort her because it was said that she was in a lot of distress, that she was crying. She was very hurt and shocked by the exchange with the passenger who was still sitting in her seat with her child and her husband at the time. Now, Tanika continues to chronicle, and she also says that she's going to contact Delta. So she begins directly messaging and including Delta in her commentary. So that's going to get the attention, of course, of someone from Delta because people started to repost and reshare what Tanika A.B. was saying. That's what ended up going viral. Over the next couple of hours, the internet seemingly band together to not only find out the passenger's name, and you might be saying, how could they do that? Well, Tanika A.B. said, hey, we're on the flight number blankety blankety blank. We're going into JFK. people who are very savvy were able to track the flight, find the manifest, and find the passenger's seat, because Tanika AB said the passenger's in XYZ seat. They found the passenger's name, pulled it up. Her name is now trending. Her name is Dana Ganair. And she's trending.
You could not be kidding.
Oh, cannot. They found her. They found that she's a nurse.
Ganair. Gary Gnu. Go ahead.
Interesting. They found that she's a nurse. They found her
Not
nursing
anymore.
license,
Not
reported
anymore.
her to the nursing board of the state in which she practices in, found her husband's information, and because of all the attention,
Her husband. What did her husband have to do with this?
they just he was just, he caught some strays, collateral damage. Because of all of this, Delta, according to Tanika AB, who was still giving the play-by-play, met the plane at the gate at JFK and offloaded Dana Ganair to the tune of $45,000 fine and some sort of maybe temporary imprisonment there, but a $45,000 fine, the potential that she may face being now entered onto the no-fly list, and the further ramifications that her nursing license will likely be either suspended or somehow put in jeopardy. So the internet came together and took down a racist with the help of a social media influencer's post.
I would never recommend violence. I would never do that. That's not who I am. I am going to say that because of the internet and social media, when you get out of pocket like that, sometimes people will take matters into their own hands, and they may not be as polite as me.
They did not pull any punches. This is a cautionary tale. Be careful what you do, because people apparently can always find out who you are.
And not only that, I always say there's someone always watching. There's someone with a camera phone recording.
Yes. And in this case, no images, no video was taken. Didn't even have to be. It was just a play-by-play of a narration, if you will, of the event.
No, but you still have to be mindful of that.
You do.
If you're on a plane, someone may not be pointing a camera at you, but yeah, if your information gets out there, they will find you.
When we come back, an orca attack, a new exercise trend, and a math equation that has stumped everyone on the viral load.
Well, that includes me, because I can't do math worth a damn. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere, the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Now it's time for the viral load with Tiffany. Live on KFI's Later with Mo Kelly. She'll talk about the toughest on social media. The viral load with Tiffany Hobbs.
KFI AM 640, it's Later with Mo Kelly. Let's get to part 2 of the viral load.
Unfortunately, there's been yet another orca attack. Let me tell you what happened. This is another in a long line of orca attacks. We've seen these in previous years. This one in particular shows a marine trainer by the name of Jessica Ratcliffe as she's fatally attacked by an orca during a live show. The attack has gone viral across TikTok, Facebook, X, anywhere you can imagine. And it shows Jessica Ratcliffe on top of the orca at Pacific Blue Marine Park. People are seen cheering as the orca comes out of the water, but after some time, it suddenly lunges and pulls Jessica Ratcliffe under the water. Several users who shared the video claim that Jessica died just minutes after being pulled under. However, this video is absolutely AI generated. It's completely fake. And many people have shared the video not knowing that there's no validity, there's no actuality to this video. Now, of course, despite being shared widely, despite being a viral sensation, what has been found by not just internet sleuths, but also actual scientists who dissect this sort of imagery, forensic analysts, if you will, is that there are so many inconsistencies with the video that render it as being fake that if you just look closely, you might be able to tell. For one, there are issues with the movement of the water and strange pauses in the video. Even the name of the water park is fake. And when you look up this marine trainer, Jessica Ratcliffe, she also does not exist. So this is yet another cautionary tale about AI being extremely efficient and convincing, but dangerous in the sense that many of us won't be able to tell fact from fiction. For our next story, it's a math question. There's an elementary school math question that's left students and parents perplexed. School is back in session. Kids are bringing home work and they're sharing it with their families, some in hopes of getting some sort of support or tutoring. And in this case, there's a father. His name is Bobby, and he shared the math question or riddle to his Threads account where it has gone massively viral, racking up over 116,000 views. Bobby went on to say, quote, I get sent tricky math questions all the time, so I thought this one would be a piece of cake. But when I read it, I couldn't even find a clear question. He went on to share it on social media in hopes that you might be able to figure it out. Here it goes. Everyone ready? All right, here we go.
I can't help you, so keep going.
Dina is baking. The cake bakes from 11 o'clock until 11:30. The brownies bake from 11:10 until 12. Do you agree with Dina? Explain your answer. I'll read that again.
Please do.
Dina is baking. Okay, here's Dina. She's
I work
baking.
in radio, so I don't have to do math anymore. What the hell is going on?
The cake bakes from 11 o'clock until 11:30. So the cake is baking from 11 to 11:30. The brownies bake from 11:10, so 11:10, until 25 to 12. So from 10:10 until 10:35, the brownies are baking. Then lastly, do you agree with Dina? Explain your answer.
Okay, so it says 25 past or till 12, right?
You're on your own. I'm not trying to help you.
The brownies the cake bakes from 11 o'clock until 11:30. Okay, Mo? Got that?
Yeah, I got it.
Why do you look glazed over? You're staring at me with a very vacant look in your eyes.
Look, when I got a D in statistics and I almost failed business calculus in my sophomore year of college, those are the last math classes I ever took, and I'm not trying to do word puzzles and math teasers now.
I didn't even get that far.
Math.
Okay, you mathematicians. Again, lastly, last time I'll read this.
Right.
The cake bakes from 11 o'clock until 11:30. The brownies bake from 10:11 until 25 to 12. Do you agree with Dina? Explain your answer.
Mark Ronna, come save us. Prove how smart you are.
I'm happy to say that I was working on something else and trying really hard not to pay attention.
All right, give us the damn answer.
Here's the thing. No one has come up with the answer because problems like this need to have a base 10 foundation. There needs to be some sort of equation that you can extract so that you can solve. There's no equation here.
It felt like something was missing, but in my limited understanding of math, I wouldn't have been able to answer.
So she cooked the brownies from 11:10 to 11:35.
I have to move on.
No. Robin's going to stay right here.
You work that out and see if you can figure it out while we're doing the next story. But mind
It's not
you,
the same amount of time. That much I can easily
here's the thing.
deduce.
This math problem went home to Bobby's 7-year-old kid. A 7-year-old was sent this weirdly written and seemingly unsolvable equation, but it's stumping the internet.
Did you bring brownies?
Did you bring cake?
Yeah.
Don't want to know where that is.
Come and get it.
No, thank you. While you're working,
Like you said, move on.
while you're working on that math question, if math isn't your thing, then maybe getting outside is. There's a new...
No, I'm an indoor person.
Well, there's something you can do inside as well. There's a new exercise trend. And if Claudine were here, I'd love to find out what she thinks about this. All of you who are into high impact intensity workouts where you interval train, do something really fast, really hard, and then moderate, and then really fast, really hard, and then moderate. This is the new trend, and it's straight out of Japan. It's called the Japanese walking fitness trend. And proponents of it say that it can actually improve your health because it's high intensity interval walking. It requires 30 minutes of workout time only, just 30 minutes. You alternate between 3 minutes of really high impact walking and 3 minutes of slower walking. And you repeat this on-off cycle 5 times for 30 minutes. It has gone incredibly viral, of course, across TikTok, because apparently on TikTok, people don't know that walking is exercise. But now they do, and they've named it because that's what this generation does, and it is called Japanese walking.
You do know other people other than Japanese do walk, right?
I am aware.
Okay, just checking.
On TikTok, apparently not. What were you going to say, Mark?
Well, there's some American science that predates that and backs it up. In track, these used to be called, and I'm not making this up, fartlek, F-A-R-T-L-E-K, which involves alternating your pace, like sprinting for the first part of the mile and then going at a comfortable pace the rest of it over and over again.
Sure.
So you're supposed to get better returns on that than just, say, going at the highest pace you possibly can for the whole thing.
I agree.
I'm happy to say the word fartlek on the radio.
Fartlek.
There you go.
Mo?
No. You two, continue, please.
Do you fartlek?
No.
Say it. Say the word.
On a treadmill at varying speeds and intensity.
Japanese walking or fartlecking.
It is black man walking. It has nothing to do with Japanese people. I didn't, go to Japan and seek out some wise sage to figure out the best way to walk. It's something I've been doing for more than 53 years. Okay.
Well, Dina is baking. The cake bakes for 15 minutes. Mo, are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
The brownies bake for about 25 minutes. Do you agree with Dina? Is the question.
Yeah, but Dina hasn't postulated anything for me to disagree with.
Do you agree with Dina? Yes or no?
I'm getting attacked in my own show.
It's viral.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, let me attack you on Saturdays with Tiffany. See how you feel.
No. I won't be on this Saturday because we're preempted because of the Chargers game. I'll be fartlecking instead.
Excuse you?
Pardon me.
Oof.
Little fartlecking.
That's Swedish, by the way.
Thank you.
Swedish?
We're a diverse show.
Yeah, speed play in Swedish. Fartlek.
I guess you learn something new every day, but I didn't learn anything from that math question. Did you, Robin? Did you learn anything from that math question?
Okay. So what temperature was it at? Because that matters. That matters.
I gave you everything I had.
All right. Well, then.
Like fartlecking.
I do not agree.
Now, what is there to agree with? Because it wasn't a question or a thesis statement made. The grass is green. Do you agree? The brownies are done. Do you agree?
It sounds like you're trying to make sense out of viral trends. I know, I should make sense out of nonsense. Things. Okay. That's why things are viral, not because they make sense, because they get you thinking.
All right. Well, this is what I'm thinking. If you take your ass on an airplane, do not try to vape, and then act like an a-hole after you get busted out for vaping on an airplane. We'll talk about it next.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on social media and the iHeartRadio app. Did you hear the story? And this is like part 2 of the story, but did you hear the original story about the a-hole who was vaping on an American Airlines flight in one of the lavatories? And once you even get on the flight, they say you can't do that. You can't smoke. You can't tamper with the smoke alarm. You can't do any of that. Those are all federal crimes. Okay. Most of them felonies. Everyone knows it. And if you do it, you're committing a crime, period, full stop, end of the sentence. This guy, Peter Nguyen, this passenger, who is also some sort of influencer, decided to go into an air line bathroom and started vaping because evidently he has a nicotine addiction and couldn't last a full 2-hour flight without nicotine. He went in there. I guess it was obvious. Maybe there was some sort of steam or smoke or whatever they emit was coming out of the lavatory. And so the flight attendant opened the door and caught him in the act vaping, to which he started taping the interaction and the argument between himself and the flight attendant.
Because he's the victim.
He's the victim, and he wanted to maximize the views on him being an a-hole and a quote-unquote victim. He's claiming that he's a victim that because she barged in on him, embarrassed him, took his privacy away, and now he says his privacy and dignity were violated. Dignity! The problem with this is people would actually believe him and support him when he's wrong in the first place. It's like you're in the middle of breaking into a bank, crime, and then you want to complain about, hey, they pushed me down when they arrested me. Well, you're in the middle of committing a major felony.
The thing that adds insult to injury with a lot of these sorts of cases, especially when it comes to people behaving badly in public and victimizing others or being belligerent, is that, like you said, they'll always be able to galvanize supporters. And now what they're getting is money. They're getting lots and lots and lots of money.
Because they're dumb.
Yeah.
The followers are dumb. And I need American Airlines to put this guy on the no-fly list because they can do it by airlines and make sure that he never has another opportunity to fly on American again.
I just don't understand why people will pay all of this money for a flight, go through all the trouble of waking up or being on time at the airport, making the flight, going through all of the details, and it's already a stressful and strenuous situation. Why would you do all of that to sacrifice it for language or vaping or any other
I'll tell you
behavior?
why. This is a perfect example of there not being consequences. And this kind of leads into what I'm going to talk about, my final thought regarding elected officials, politicians. There are no consequences anymore. So what is the deterrent? Why should, let's say I saw this video and I decided, you know what? I think I want to do something similar. I want to go on there and enter the Mile High Club on a full plane and dare them to open the bathroom door. So I could do the exact same thing. I can tape it, and then it's going to go viral, and it's going to get on the news. They're going to talk about it on KFI and later with Mo Kelly, and then I'm going to monetize all of that. What is the deterrent if there are no consequences to this type of behavior? There was a consequence as far as the flight was concerned. I mean, I don't think they landed early or anything. He got a tongue lashing. Maybe he was talked to by airport security or something. But there weren't any real consequences beyond that.
No, and this person will be internet famous, and even infamy at this point is what people seek. Because it's you're able to monetize it. Excuse me.
I don't know what I would do in that situation if I see a guy come out of the lavatory with his phone in some sort of confrontation, altercation with flight staff. I don't know if I could sit idly by, because I would just want to just hit him one good time in the throat.
Well, you heard
just being honest.
That story that Mark covered a little while ago about the person who was acting belligerent and violent using his belt as a weapon, and another passenger literally picked this guy up like a child and slammed him down into a seat.
Well, that's easier, because if someone's being physically belligerent and violent, I don't have to mentally justify anything at that point, because he is impacting everyone's safety at that point. In this situation, this influencer is not necessarily making anyone else unsafe. He's just being an ass.
Yeah.
And he's filming himself being an ass for the sake of likes and hearts. I mean, I don't know. I maybe would have snatched the phone out of his hand.
And we can surmise about what we would do. I think more people should do and not just wish retrospectively. But it comes with a lot of consequence, because then you can get sued by this person.
Yeah. And that's something you think, I just maybe knock it out of his hand or something,
Yeah.
or somehow
foot to the chest.
Something, because we're at a point where I understand why people don't want to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
I get it, because you have to think about all the unintended consequences of getting involved. You can see that he's an a-hole, so he's going to incorporate you in your a-hole and his a-holeness, where he's trying to make American the bad guy and he's the victim. And of course, he would have included anyone else who got in the way. Me, I just tend to think of myself as a person like, I don't care. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And we in this country have lost complete sight of right and wrong, and have the dirty nerve to get upset at other people when we ourselves are not doing what we need to do.
And when others hold us accountable for when we are wrong,
then they're the bad guy.
Yeah.
And it's from our elected officials all the way down. But we'll get into that next.
Oof.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. I'll have my final thought, which connects back to LA City Councilman Curran Price, who had another pair of charges thrown at him today.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And before we get out of here, here is my final thought, and I'm going to kind of loop back to what I was talking about with LA City Councilman Curran Price. But it's not just about him. It's about our politics, big picture. Because once upon a time, there was such a thing as the moral high ground. Once upon a time, there was this thing called shame. Those days are long gone. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen relatively quickly. But sure enough, as sure as I'm sitting here, it has happened. Earlier in the show, I told you about the 2 new public corruption charges against LA City Councilman Curran Price. He's facing maybe a half dozen felonies now. I honestly don't know. I've lost count. But he's not stepping down. And stepping down used to be something irrespective of whether you were found guilty or not guilty in a court of law later on. Stepping down was, once upon a time, an acknowledgement that you had respect for the institution and your constituents. You knew that fighting off felonies would get in the way of serving the people. I mean, a trial in which you're facing decades in prison will probably get in the way of any day job as a civil servant. So, stepping down was an acknowledgement that you've embarrassed the office, you've embarrassed yourself, you've embarrassed your constituents, and you've betrayed all of that in representing them. You have betrayed the public trust. That's separate from the issue of innocence or guilt. People don't get charged with multiple felonies out of nowhere. Not then, not even now. In the world pre-Donald Trump, Curran Price would have not been able to survive this, innocence or not. These days, the playbook is known to everyone. Deny everything, attack the prosecution as being a witch hunt, attack the media for reporting the facts as they are, and call it all fake news, but never ever admit fault, never ever resign. To be honest, that says more about us as voters than the individual politicians. They do it because they know they can get away with it. And we as voters are only going to get in elected officials what we're willing to put up with. You don't get incompetent clowns if you won't put up with incompetent clowns. You won't get corrupt criminals if we as a society made it clear that we won't accept corrupt elected officials. And that's very different than simply looking for corruption on the part of the party you don't like. Put them in jail, put her in jail, lock her up, lock him up, but don't worry about our guy. There's no moral high ground to be found if you only think the other party has crooks in it. Shame used to be a powerful deterrent. Hypocrisy used to be an effective tool to demonstrate how elected officials had fallen short. Former New York Governor Eliot Spitzer, remember him? He was shamed into his resignation over his solicitation of hookers and the hypocrisy of having done it while championing his quote unquote tough on crime prosecutor persona. I remember that. It was both the shame and the hypocrisy. He resigned. He left it with no choice, but that was then. Now you have people like George Santos, who was as corrupt as they come, and he had to be put out of Congress because he was not leaving on his own. No amount of shame or claims of hypocrisy was going to influence him. That's where we are today. Someone said it best, and I have adopted it ever since. And I wish I could remember who said it to me so I could get full attribution, but I can't, so I won't. But that person said, you can't shame the shameless, meaning people who have no shame or don't feel shame are impervious to shame, meaning people who have no shame, it doesn't influence their decisions. But it's just not the politician. We as voters, we don't value shame or hypocrisy anymore. So it's twofold. The result is that we get the politicians that we have asked for. You can't support everything that Donald Trump says and has done with impunity and also point the finger at the other politicians and demand that they resign. There is no moral high ground there. That ship sailed back in 2015. It would be like supporting the Democratic former Congressman Anthony Weiner. Remember him? The guy who had multiple sexting scandals, which included sexting a minor, and then demanding other elected officials to resign while skipping over Anthony Weiner. But Weiner did finally resign. He may be the last of his kind in that regard. Here's the takeaway. We can't be surprised at the lacking quality of our elected leaders, be it local, like Curran Price, the LA City Council, or state level or federal level. We can't be surprised at the lacking quality as long as we do not require them to be decent people at their foundation. We can't expect elected officials to not engage in criminal behavior while in office if we don't require that of all elected officials, regardless of party. The DOJ, which originally prosecuted Curran Price, is the same damn DOJ which prosecuted Hunter Biden and the same damn DOJ which prosecuted Donald Trump. But we want to pick and choose which DOJ is corrupt or being politically weaponized. You can't have it both ways because shame doesn't work that way. Hypocrisy doesn't work that way. Either we want honorable and ethical or we don't. If we don't demand it, we won't get it. But we are seeing the consequences of not having it. For KFI AM 640, I'm Mo Kelly.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
iHeart presents the Big Three Playoffs. This Sunday, the remaining 4 teams battle to make the championship in the most physical, fierce, and competitive basketball league in the world. The action starts with the Big Three Monster Energy Celebrity Game. Then Dwight Howard and his LA Riot take on Montrezl Harrell and Dr. J Chicago Triplets. The finale will see popular Miami 305 with stars MVP Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson take on Nancy Lieberman's Dallas Power. Who will make it to the Big Three Championship? The no-holds-barred action starts Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific, only on CBS.